Hello, good evening. This lab is an extension of our lab that we had on Monday. And because the lab was so long and uploading it will take longer time. So I just want to do a quick summary of the class so that those that were not available can follow through. And last week, Thursday, Monday, we talked about VM and we started with sharing a local host VM. I want to be sharing, we started with sharing a local host VM. And one of the local host VM we have is this Oracle VM. And I use this VM box to illustrate what a VM actually look like. Now this is like it's an hypervisor. A VM, a virtual machine, is actually a complete machine that have another machine inside, and those machine inside is working independently of the main machine in terms of application and operating system. So it's like you are having a complex system, then you build another system inside it to work, to function. It's like dividing a system hardware. So the difference between a virtual machine and partitioning a hard drive is that partitioning a hard drive is like a particular resources of the complete machine that you are sharing to different parts just for you to manage the hard drive. But when you are installing a VM machine, you are talking about the whole resources of the computer, of the system, either a desktop, a laptop, or a server. The whole resources of the server, talking about the memories, talking about the processor, talking about the GPU, the graphics processor, talking about the RAM, the hard drive, and everything about the system. However, this time you are sharing the resources with another machine inside the main system. So they will be working separately. They'll be talking to the internet separately. You can install several operating systems on them and they will work. And the kind of application that allow you a form of it's a system software that allow you to do such virtualization is called hypervisor. We have two types of hypervisor. We have the hypervisor 1 and hypervisor 2. Hypervisor 1 is basically put on a bare metal machine. What is a bare metal machine? Those machines that does not have operating system already installed. It's like a complete system, mostly servers. They don't have anything on top of it. They are just basically hardware and maybe some DOS environments, some code, some others those environment. So you put an hypervisor on it. That's hypervisor 1, and you use that hypervisor to share the system resources and install different VM on it. And we have hypervisor 2, like the one we see here. That one, hypervisor 2, is put on top already existing operating system, like this one. So what we're going to do, this is an hypervisor 2. This system is already have an operating system, Windows operating system installed on it. So what we are going to do, we are going to create another machine with it. So I won't really go into details. I'll just go deep, give you an idea. You understand me? So for example, if you want to create another virtual machine, you can get this application from Oracle VM VirtualBox. You can just go and click Oracle VM, just come here, Oracle VM, then you see VirtualBox download. We just do download it. Is for all operating system, both Mac operating system, Linux, and all Linux operating system and all Windows operating system. It's an hypervisor, an example of an hypervisor 2. Just download and install. Normal, it's easy to install. You don't need anything special to install it. So you like this now. This machine already exists. You want to create another operating system on it. So all I would just do is to name the operating system. Let's say Cloud Enthusiast. Cloud Enthusiast. You can put space. Enthusiast. Then it's asking me which type of operating system am I planning to install in this new machine that I'm creating. Where I'm installing a Linux system. Which type of Linux system? We have Oracle, all different kind of Linux system. Most of the Linux system are here. Then I can just say Ubuntu 64-bit. Then move on. It's asking, okay, this system has 8 gig RAM. This 8 gig RAM, how many resources am I allocating to this system? I can decide to allocate, let's say 2.5 gig or 3 gig. Man, I've allocated it. So it's asking me the hard drive. So I'm saying use the hard drive, VirtualBox 61 image. That's talking about the binary code, the binary image. So I say you should use that one. The dynamic allocation, I say go ahead in case the system increase it with it. You understand me? Don't just be static over the resources are allocated to you. So when I've done this, I've created a machine, a virtual machine. This is a virtual machine working. I can decide to create another virtual machine. So as simple as this, with this hypervisor, I can create 20 machines. How are you? You can, then this one, I can make this one a Windows system 64. Then I'm gonna locate it. I've created another machine. You understand? So it's as simple as this. So so I can create 20 machines inside the system. So like normal, regular, when you create a machine, the next thing they will ask you is, okay, now you've created a machine. This machine does not have an operating system, meaning it does not have that resources that allow you to install application. You understand? Those system software that allow you to install application. So you have to install it on top. So for me, I don't want to waste my resources. I can decide you can go to online and download any ISO file, any ISO file, let's say image file for Nanos operating system. I will download it. My system, I would want to compound it with a lot of stuff. So we're going to do this when we go to cloud. So this is an hypervisor. This is what a VM is. A VM is not really like a physical system that is existing. However, it's a mirror of a complete system. And that's a system that has been divided. So when you launch an instance in AWS, in all other cloud infrastructure, you're actually launching a VM. That means there's actually a system, a hardware that have all these resources, talking about the hardware, the hard drive, the memory, everything already installed in it. Understand me? So it's a regular system. However, this time they have divided it into different parts. So as you are launching your own instance, you are launching a VM. And that VM, because it's on top of a server, so it's a virtual machine of a living server. So you can as well relate with it as a server. You understand? That's why that is just the introduction. So I will leave here now. So you can take your time, go to, if you want to get an ISO file, it's simple, just go to your stuff, go here. You can even see them here. You can see all this one is for the VM. These are VM, these are VM. VMs, you can decide to download different type of hypervisor. So, but if you want to get ISO file, you can just come here and say, okay, Windows ISO, which is Windows 10. You can just see Windows 10, Windows ISO file. You can download and work for you. So Windows ISO for virtual machine, for VirtualBox. So it's a simple thing. You can download it and install and just try it out. You discover that you can even most times come with NAND gateway. So most if you are going into system hacking, security, you want to learn more about security, most times you are encouraged to use a virtual machine. Understand? So like enough of virtual machine, physical virtual machine, they will call it local host virtual machine because on your local system. So now let's go to a cloud-based virtual machine. So we already know of our EC2, our AWS. In our last class, we talked about how to create a AWS account. If you can go there, you can see how to create it. Then how to configure the VPC. We talked about VPC. Talked about how to configure subnet and other route table. But now we're going to, mind you, this is an infrastructure as a service. We're going to also talk about code as a service, using code to do all these things. You know, that's when you talk about the Terraform and the Ansible. We're going to talk about it. You know, it's easier that way, it's faster that way. But if you can understand infrastructure as a service, it'll be easy for you to know more about code as a service. Code as a service is mostly used to automate. So I will give you that. So let's go into it's a virtual machine box. If you come here, you see these are compute instances. These are compute instances. This EC2 is a virtual machine. It's a virtual server, a virtual machine server. So you can come here and click. Then I already have one running, but I can say launch. Just the way we install an hypervisor already in that in our local system, and we started creating. I want to click create. So it was almost the same thing here. Yeah, this one is cloud-based. So immediately I say, it's asking me, do you want to launch an instance? I'll say yes, launch an instance. Then you understand it has launched. You can come here and choose the type of instance. AMI talked about the image. You know, when we're creating that operation system, you also ask us which image are we doing. Meaning it's trying to prepare the machine for the future or operating system that we're going to use. You understand me? Like, okay, this system, what is it for? So I'm saying, okay, I'm installing an EC2 AMI. There's also Mac OS, there's also Ubuntu, there's Red Hat. They are all here. So I'm just using this. Please try and ensure, since we are doing trial, try and ensure to use a free trial so that it won't eat into your account, your resources, because we are just still doing trial, just it's a training. So it's asking you the type of operating. It's saying, okay, now remember we also was sharing a hard drive. It's telling me, okay, in this server, which type of server do you plan to create? Now I'm trying to create a TC2 which has one CPU, one virtual processor, virtual central processor unit. The reason why it's called virtual because it has a complete processor unit. It's taken out of it. Are you getting me? It's making use of one GIB, the same thing. It's also the instance EBS, elastic block storage. This elastic block storage is like normal hard drive that you attach to a system where you install your image. You understand me? So it's telling you these are the parameters. So if you scroll down, you can see if like, for example, if you are planning to launch a server for high graphical unit your image, like you want to use it for Blender, you want to use it for even a high game like high end game. So you need to go down, you know, we even have server as high as a virtual server as high as uh, see, this is 32 gig. This is okay. This is 3.5 gig. This is 60. This is 60. This is 36. So these are core. I mean, a system that has 36 core i36. You understand me? 36 processor. So these are the things you do. But for us now, we're just doing this. So you just go there. Now, he's talking about here. He's talking about what kind of how do you want this system to be talked to. In networking, is what we call firewalls. Firewalls is actually you designing a system to avoid people coming into the system as they like. You understand me? So it's about restricting access to the system by creating some security rules, letting some to come in and letting some to go out. There's different kind of firewalls creation. So this security group is also like a firewall to the server. You are trying to protect the server, the virtual server that people should, not everything can come in. So it's asking you in this security group, which VPC you're going to put it. It's better you put it in this regular VPC. Okay, this is even okay, auto scaling. See the VPC. Okay. Okay, this one is talking about here. It's talking about the networking. So you are going trying to network it, create it in a way that something can enter. And this virtual private cloud is a region based. I talked it in our last class. So meaning every region has a virtual private cloud. If you install a server, you actually install a server in availability zone. Availability zone is the composition of so many data centers. You understand me? Putting it into a particular zone, you understand me? And composition of availability zone makes up availability. This makes up a region. Like this is a server. I mentioned it in our last class. So right now we are not going to create from the scratch. But in our class, we talked about creating from the scratch, but we are going to just use default for the sake of this class. And you understand, I don't want to waste much time. As I mentioned, this is not really the class. In our class, we really talked about it. We talked so much about it so that everybody that was around learned one or two things. That's why I always recommend coming for live class. But live class, in uploading it takes longer time. It takes, imagine you viewing video for 3 hours for a simple task, you understand? So I don't know, maybe I will discuss with my team. If they don't mind viewing it, then we can as well just continue. So now this is the principal, these are the parameters of the system. The security group have been done. The security group, as I mentioned before, I make use of the default. This default is saying allow all network to come in, and I also allow SSH to come in. The SSH means a shell using the shell that is from the system, connecting from the laptop, connecting from using a party, using, you understand me, connecting from the laptop to the system. So there's a shell host. So I'm saying, okay, use SSH, then use all network to come. But in a reproduction environment, what you can only enable is SSH. Even the SSH, you have to put your server, your desktop, your system and network. If you want to get that system, you can come to CMD. You have to put CMD or whatever thing you want to use. Let's say CMD, then you just put, you come here, then you put uh, um, ifconfig. Okay, I think this one is ipconfig. So I don't know, it's if most is ifconfig. Fig. Oh, okay, automatically you're supposed to have, this is the Windows version. So that's just it. So if you want to check your IP, just go to your command prompt, just click ipconfig /ALL. But in Anos it's ifconfig /A, but CMD has different thing. So you just come here and copy your IP address. Every system has this is the IP, is the default gateway, the server. So this is the connection. You just come and look for the local connector for this particular. That's for the virtual box host. So all the network in this place is as Apache, all the network in for your system. These are the configurations. So this is a local. It's for IPv6, V6, IPv4. Is your preferred, is your IPv4. Just copy this and Control C. Then you come here. Immediately you post it here. What automatically happen is that nobody can access the system. No system can access it except my own local system. And when you copy it here, so you're saying let's only the system access session to it. Then you have to disable this too. But for now, it's allowed. Just let it fly. Don't forget ipconfig / for ipv complete -all. So you do this. You come asking, are you ready for launch? I'm ready for launch. Everything is set. They asking for your key pair. You can get this class. Just come acknowledge that this is the key pair you are using. Then your server is on. Now remember the structure for this particular class. We are hoping to install Apache. We are hoping to install a web server into it. First of all, you have to, if you are working in a production home regularly, normally they are supposed to give you a GitHub where all the developer, I'm talking about people, the CSS developer, the HTML developer, and the JavaScript developer, or if they're using a Python, they're going to be in a GitHub repository. They'll tell you, so you move it already. You can either, depends, you can either put it in a pipeline where all the updates would be moved to your S3 bucket. Then from your S3 bucket, you deploy it. So we can design a pipeline. I'll show you that for the DevOps team. Well, you are just like somebody deploying it. So what you do, I want just going to do a prototype of a production house, assuming we are installing a server into it. In our last class, we also talked about the server into how to put a file into a S3 bucket, but we didn't do a video for it. So for that singular reason, we are just going to design just a prototype. There's a site I always like to go to. It's called codepenio. If you go to codepen.io, you will see of it. Codepen.io, you can see different kind of websites. Out of this website, you can decide to choose any one. For example, you can just these are no website anyway. They are just like different programming language. People have already designed. These are developers that developed it. They are just sampling, just like the way you go to Instagram to look at best picture to copy. The same way CodePen have so many developers, you know, they'll just come here and just show their sample. Like I like this. And this one is for everybody. You can come here and just click. Just first of all, look at the source code. These are the code. This is the HTML file. This is the CSS file. This is the JavaScript file. So this is like a form web page. So you can just come here and export this. We are just using it for POC. So by the time you download, it's going to be in your local system. Then you come to stdmarket, just create a bucket, create a bucket, then make the bucket, let's say Monday class. This is supposed to be for a Monday class. You come here, you choose the region. You can start to choose any region because stdmarket is a global API, meaning you can be accessed globally. Then I don't want to just remove it since I'm going to access it through the internet. So you allow it to be. They are going to do a project with this on why you have you noticed most times there are many things you do with S3 bucket. S3 bucket is like image storage. That means like your Google Drive. And image storage is different from hard drive, you understand? So the size is very big, it's up to petabyte. So it's thing that has been created. Yeah, the bucket has been created. The bucket is like uh, 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 an allocated storage for a particular purpose. For example, if you are doing the production, you can have a production bucket. If you are into programming, developers can also have their project bucket. You can design different bucket for everybody. Depends on their work and also assign different role to it on how they can be accessed. Like you can see in my system, there are so many buckets here. There are LMS buckets. There are this many buckets here, but I wouldn't want to bore you with my own work. This is our Monday class. You open the bucket. Then is this bucket we are going to upload that file that we downloaded. We are not, I'm telling uploading file. You can also upload to a folder. But as I mentioned, the class was really long. This is the file. Then upload it. Then you say upload. It's a regular thing. So I'm making a public bucket, meaning I can send this bucket to you to download because it's open to the world. This particular bucket is open to the world. So I want to make this bucket public so that I can access it from public. You understand? What is it saying? It has not been uploaded. Okay, it has been uploaded. So what I'm going to do is to just come here and make it public. Just come here, you'll say make public, meaning and it can now be accessed globally. I can access it. I can just make a try like you are cooking your soup. You want to test it. Let's test if the bucket is actually public. You understand? Let's test it. Let's see if the bucket is actually public. You come here, you copy the URL of that file. Yes, it's a Monday. This is the key. What's the name of the file? Okay. Let's just test it. Let's see if the soup is sweet. Come here, you paste. Okay, let's see. Boom. You can see it's downloading, meaning it's open for everybody. So the bucket is ready. You can copy this bucket because I'm going to make use of it. Now, by this time, our EC2 instance should be available already. EC2 instance should be available. We'll come here. You go to EC2 launch. It should be available by now. So you go and okay, it's available. So let's look at the parameters. Let's see the security group, the details. Okay, okay, then the security group. Okay, I can access it in the network. Okay, it has a subnet, it has public IP. Okay, meaning it's connected to the internet. Okay, now let's launch this instance. Just copy the public IP, come to PORT-E, install PORT-E in your system. For Windows user, you have to install PORT-E, Pagent, and PORT-E on the PORT-E agent. Pagent is for agent. Mostly if you want to do bursting host, you want to launch from one server to the other, use Pagent. I was going to make an example in our classes, but for now, let's just come here. Just your general default username for EC2 instance. These are EC2, most of them. Usually for AWS Linux, then you put EC2 /user, then then the IP address. You come here, you authenticate, that security, that key that we downloaded that time. It's already here. Then for me, I would like it to be bold so that you can see what I'm doing. Changing the font to like changing the fonts to like 18, then bold, then okay, then all next I'll do open. Right, then it just prompted me. So the first thing you do, first of all, I always tell people, you can decide in a production environment, you cannot use sudo, you just use su. Because in case you want to make a mistake, when you use su and you make mistake, people can correct it. But because we are using this is a normal regular experiment, so I can put sudo su so that I can have root user access. Now with the sudo su now, okay, I can first of all update yum update. Yum is the command you use for changing the parameters to put some allow things to enter the server. If I say yum update, why me yes? Because it's supposed to prompt me yes or no. Say okay, the system is updated. Now what I need to do is to install the application that can run that file. The file we downloaded is an HTML file. So let's run the application, which is an Apache application. Now we also yum install httpd, which is Apache. Yes, so no need to ask me, should I? So now I've installed an application. It's like installing a Microsoft Word of a Microsoft Office so that you can be able to open a Microsoft Word file. So the file we downloaded from the system is an HTML file comprised of CSS, HTML, and JavaScript. The CSS gave it that design. The JavaScript gave you that ability for you to enter, create a form, fill the form, Then while the HTML is actually language, it's called Apache makeup language. Okay, now let's go into Apache makeup language. That's HTML. So let's install. We have installed Apache now. So there's a particular file where you can copy, where you always copy. It's like an executable file. In Apache is in var. CD means change directory. So we are just changing directory. We are just going there. So okay, go to var. You understand? Because if you come here, if I say ls dot, if I say mini list all the file here, then you see everything here. You understand me? All the file. Okay, let's see this ll dot als. What do we have here? You see. Okay, we have the SSH. We have okay, ls /l. Let's see what we have. List poly. Okay, ls/a. What do we have? You can see everything. Okay, now let's go to that particular file. It's hidden. It's already there. It's hidden. These are the hidden files. They are hidden files. They are here. So you just go to cd var inside, then www/html. That's the folder where you put your applications, your file, your HTML file that you can run. You can come here and just say enter. Now, okay, see, look at something. I want to do something now. Okay, wash. I want to say, okay, let me create a file. Say touch, no, yes, touch, let's say index.html. Now, you see what I want to do now. I've created a file. Now I want to enter that file and write something. vi then index, then you see it now that's okay. Welcome. Okay, say hi. I mean enter, then I also welcome to cloud enthusiast. Enthusiast, it's not enthusiast. Enthusiast. Enthusiast lab 2021. Then when I do this, say it's Monday special class. Then when I'm done with this, I'll just click escape, then colon, then W means save, then Q means quit, then this means now, then it has been saved. If I say cards index dots, just place this, you see what's inside is welcome. And then if you just take this file is already here. If you just come here, where's our S3 bucket? This is our S3 bucket. Not our S3. Let's go to our EC2 instance. So okay, this one is for. I have so many folders open because every day I practice, I learn. You know, we also work with it too. So you just copy them here and go to the site. You see, by the time you launch that public server, you see to appear here. It's taking longer time than expected. What happened? Okay, what happened? Normally it's supposed to show here. Okay, what is happening? Okay, meaning it's not listening to the internet. Let's do little troubleshooting. Let's come here again. Where the public IP is not going. Okay, meaning it's not connecting. Normally I'm supposed to ping it here. Now let's just see why it's not connected. Let's go to the subnet. Let's go to the subnet here. Let's see why it's not connected to the internet. Let's look at the route table. Okay, let's go to the subnet. Let's see the route table. This is the route table. Okay, route table, does it have internet? Let's see if there's an internet gateway attached to the route table. Okay, there's an internet gateway attached to the route table, and it's listening at 0.0000. So this one, if this one is listening at 0.000, meaning the route table is correct. And let's also go to the let's go to the security group. Let's go to the security group. I know why this is not connecting to the internet. Okay, go to the instance again. I go to the instance. Let's see why it's not connecting the instance. The instance. Let's see why it's not connecting. Let's to connect. Let's to okay. This is the instance. Oh, which one are we actually working on now? This is the one I want to copy. This is the one I'm working on. Okay, let's see the security group. Security group. Security group says connect all inbound 000 port range. Inbound. Okay, and outbound. Okay, let's try. Why is it no longer connecting? Normally it's supposed to. The security group is some point. Out window.html. Why is this not? Why is it not? There, the internet. Why? Zero. So the reason why it did not connect is because we not started Apache. I'm supposed to start Apache, say service. HTTPD start. So let's say yum HTTPD status status. What are they saying? So to check if the Apache is running, just say start service HTTPD status. Or say it's active and it's running. So in that case, this is supposed to work now. You can see displayed. Welcome to Cloud Enthusiast Lab 2021 module special. So that is it. So if you want us to, now our aim is not just to install that. So we'll just put ls, and let's delete that file. Let's delete that file. Let's delete the file. I'll say remove HTTP, remove index.html. Then yes, don't ask me any question. Okay, remove index. Okay, yes. So the file has been removed. So what we want to do now, we're going to take that file that wget means you can get anything from any website that is public. Like this link is public now. You can get this file. Just like we're accessing, and then like pulling or pushing. So the file is here. You say ls, you can see the file is here. Or it's a zip file. You have to unzip slide, and the file is now here. It's already unzipped. If fully unzipped, you say ls, you see the files here. Then you're going to move this file, move a slide. Then yeah, I want you to move this file. Yeah, I want it to be here. What happened? Okay, what I just did, I just opened a file. I told the system, move this particular file in blue. This folder, open it. This means open. Then I'm saying this dot means here, open it here. So this is zip file. Zip file cannot open. So this particular file, because this O file must be open here. So if you say ls, you see all the files here. You see the HTML of it. You see where is the license.cc. Then if I go there now to open it, if I go to the site, there will nothing will show, because why there's still no a dot, nothing will show here. It's a regular welcome HTTP file. So for something to show, we need to open an HTML, anything .html file. You can see there's nothing like .html file here. So what we'll do, let's pick this one of this folder. Let's take this dist. So what I'm going to say is that, okay, I love this dist. So, okay, I'll say move. Let's open this dist. Understand me? Yeah. Then put your asterisk, and I mean, open it here. By the time you open it here, you see that there's an HTML file, it's a CSS file, it's an index.html file, it's a CSS file. So by the time I go to this page now, where is the page? By the time I come to this page that is showing this, and I open it, you see the file is here. So I can decide to, okay, I don't want this. Maybe I want the second file to be open here. Understand? I can say this. Okay, I don't want this. I want another file to be open here. So in that case, I have to delete this old file. Especially this particular one that come with index.html. I can decide to say remove. Understand me? Remove index dot HTML to remove, yes. Then I want to open that CROC. So, okay, now move SRC file. I'm going to move it here. Yes, open it and move it here. Okay. When I do this, it's already move it here. Overwrite a JavaScript. There's already a JavaScript here. Just keep, because it's going to be a 2 file come here. So I'll say yes. It's asking overwrite CSS file, because CSS file is here. I'll say yes. So if I say ls, so this is this HTML here. By the time I go back to the site and refresh the site, you see what you're going to have is a different thing. The sign up page. So those are the things. So I want to tell you how to bind both of them together so it can be like a complete website. That's another class. I'm just trying to teach us something. So I think this is the end of today's class. That's what I was trying to explain. Thank God I was able to reduce the time. You understand me? To something very short. Now in the next class, we are going to try this thing. I want to look at a real project and work on it. So thank you for staying put. This is Patrick Osatoami Agbogun for Cloud Training for Enthusiasts. I'll see you in our next class. I love you. Yeah. care.